we're talking about being gentle when we're working with our kids. If you missed my Fatherword show this week about gentleness, I encourage you, go back and watch it first. I promise I'll be right here when you get back. When my kids were young, I always helped coach their football teams. And never ceased to amaze me the amount of yelling on the field that came from the other coaches, from the parents, some very colorful, and I can't say online here. Coaches were yelling at kids to get into their position, try harder, drive those feet. They're yelling because they want to produce a winning team, right? Parents are yelling at the kids to get out there, try harder. Don't let that guy push you around. They were yelling because they wanted to produce a winning child that maybe got a scholarship one day and they would save college money. Beloved, let me tell you something. Yelling just doesn't work. You may see a few results in the short term produced by raising your voice or yelling at your kids, but I can guarantee you'll not see the results in the long run. What we need to understand is that when we are yelling at our kids to try harder, play smarter, do better, what they're actually hearing is, I'm not good enough, am I? And they're wondering, why don't my parents like me, especially when they're little? And maybe, are they even listening to you at all when you're yelling? Don't most of us just shut down when someone raises their voice and yells at us? As we've been going through this series on the attributes of God, we want to remember that we need to be gentle with our kids because God is gentle with us. The book of Ephesians says this way, always be humble and gentle. Be patient with one another, making allowances for each other's faults because of love. Boy, that's powerful. See, one of the ways to move from anger toward gentleness is to figure out what is upsetting you to the point of yelling. I mean, what is making you so angry anyway? Is volume helping their hearing? More often than not, we're trying to control or change our kids' behavior rather than getting the real issue of why they are acting the way they are. Beloved, our actions flow from our hearts, right? What we believe we do. And when we understand why, it opens up a whole new world to us as a parent. So when we just try to control, right, or change our kids' actions, we're putting Band-Aids on broken bones, when what we need to do is to do surgery and find out why. Putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone will always lead us to frustration, right? Let me give you a tip on how to move towards parenting with gentleness today. Think about a few behaviors that your kids are exhibiting, right? That are driving you to yell, to anger, to be angry, to be frustrated. Think of the 5 whys, 5 reasons why your kids might be exhibiting those behaviors. Are they hurting? Do they need more help? Are they angry? Etc. Once you've gotten to those 5 possible whys, take a moment to pray through them alone and to see if God might show you the root of what's going on in your child's heart that is causing them to act this way. It's kind of a step back. Instead of reacting, it's a proactive way of thinking through. And guess what? Let the Holy Spirit do his work as you pray. He will give you insight on how to approach your child with gentleness to the issue and address that root. And maybe it's a heart problem with them as well. Here's another example from my own life. I have one of my kids, has ADHD, a gift that God gave him, and it kept him kind of getting in trouble being organized. I remember yelling at him over and over and over to clean his room, and I would go in and go, "Man, you realize that this room looked like a pigsty?" And one day he goes, "Hey, Dad, what's a pigsty?" He had no idea, and I kept just pounding him because his room wasn't what I wanted. And, part of it, the issue is I looked at this look on his face one day, and I said, "Son, do you know how to clean your room?" And he says, "No, Dad." He thought throwing everything under the bed was clean. I never shown him how, and boy, it hit my heart. Maybe you're doing the same thing in your life, but beloved, God has given us these kids to parent, and he wants us to bless you as you parent them. And he will even give you the grace to not get loud and dominate him. You can trust him in that. Hey, beloved, I'm doing these shows every week to help you not just survive, but thrive in your family. It takes work, but I know you can get there. And I want to help you make an even bigger impact on your family. I built a whole series designed to equip you to be the father or mother your family needs. It's called The Blessing of the Father for Families. There's loads of information there that I can't possibly fit into our weekly time together. Check it out on my website at blessingofthefather.com. And remember, it's never, ever too late for God the Father to heal your family story.